Hey, it's Jeff. Welcome back. Let's get started. Okay, no queens on the board. For some reason, that's the only thing I cared about. And okay, g5 is a fork, but they could take the rook on f4. And I don't think after taking the knight on h6 that we would be promoting that pawn anytime soon. And I don't think if we take the rook, the knight's not trapped. Oh, what about rook takes f6, king takes g5 is still not a fork because they could take the pawn. But we do have stuff like rook g1 check, but I guess the bishop on g6 would always have two defenders and we'd have two attackers unless there's something I'm missing there. But I'll try to keep looking overall, like what other candidate ideas do I have? The king looks pretty safe. It really just seems like the fork opportunities with g5 seem like it could do something. Knight takes g6. Let's say rook f takes g6. I don't see anything there. And so, okay, either rook takes f6 or g5. I'm not seeing any other good candidate moves. Okay, or knight takes g6, but I don't think knight takes g6 works for any reason. So between g5 and rook takes f6. Okay, rook takes f6, king takes f6. And we have stuff like rook f1, or maybe we go g5 for some reason. g5 would force king g5. And then knight f3 check. And can they defend the knight with their king anymore? I don't think so. Okay, so I think that might be it. But I've already forgotten what move I even looked at. Was it rook takes f6 or g5? I just said. It's gotta be rook takes f6, king, because the king comes in, then g5. So let's calculate that again and make sure. Rook takes f6, king takes f6, g5. If they move the king out the way, we take the knight, so they have to take g5. Then we have knight f3 check. And after that, the key thing is the rook is attacking the h6 knight, and the king cannot go to h5 to defend it. And it's blocked by the bishop, so it can't go to g6. They have to go back to like f6 or something. And then we could take the free knight. So yeah, I like that. Okay, solved. I'll go to analysis board. And check on the mistakes. Alright, g5 was played 1,400 times on move 1. Okay, yeah, this was my only other move that I felt had to be something, if not rook takes f6. And the problem is, actually rook takes f4 would be a win for white. I was thinking of like intermediate captures like this. Okay, and then white's still doing okay here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess it's just this passed pawn plus the bishop versus knight. This would just end up being okay. Like white might be able to get his king in here. if that's useful. But this isn't actually the most challenging line, so white would be okay and probably better in that situation. The problem comes after knight f5 check right here. And now all of a sudden, you're not going to be able to do much, so let's see. And if we just take here, what's going on? Wait. Oh, you just moved this one back. Okay, I read it wrong. Say rook f8. I just assumed it was going to be that other rook. But yeah, they just moved back, and now you no longer have any tactics. And mainly the thing I used to discard this was after this might be a typical idea in some situations if the rook could no longer stop this pawn. But here, there's two other pieces that could stop this pawn easily. And okay. Now the next most common mistake was knight takes g6, played almost 1,000 times. And knight takes g6. Okay, so rook takes, and now the knight's defended. And this pawn is blocked. This chip is still blocked in by this pawn. King can't really move up, make any necessary pawn breaks to open up the position. And so there's like, it's a quiet position, so there's no more like good forcing moves. Okay, and we have rook f1 on move 2. Okay, so some people went for this check. And I wonder, does this even work? Yeah, just hitting the knight, and they can take. But again, you get into similar situations. And also, you lose the threat of doing this fork by forcing the king to move, so you don't even get anything useful from playing g5 ever, because the knight could just move once the king is gone, and you play g5. Okay. Next puzzle. And, okay, so we got queens on the board this time. Queen c3, first move I looked at, fails miserably to knight takes c3. It looks like there could be a mating net, so I don't know if you guys heard that. RTX, please save me. We have two bishops and the queen, so like if we can cut off these diagonals for the king, we might be able to checkmate. This queen, we're not gonna win this queen ever. It's protected by this pawn, and any attacks with the bishop, it'll just move away. Plus it has lots of checks. So I really feel like, especially with this pawn on f4 and bishop on e4, we gotta try to trap the king somehow. So moves like queen d1, which cuts off g4 square for the king, is pretty interesting. Something like queen d1, if king g3, bishop e1, king h3 only move, queen h5 looks like checkmate. So at the queen d1, they can go to f2, in which case there's just got to be some checkmate there probably. The only other move would have to be either bishop e2 on move 1 or queen f1 on move 1. So I feel like one of those three moves is going to be it, but queen d1 does look interesting, especially since I saw one mate, and I just have to figure out what happens after king f2. But let's look at queen f1 for a brief second. So queen f1, king g4, queen takes f4, If king h5, we can mate them on g5, but if king h3, it's a little more tricky. I don't even see there's not a good check on the diagonal, the light square diagonal, because f5 is covered by the bishop, and we can't bring our light square bishop in time. I feel like it would be too slow allowing them checks on the back rank and so on. And maybe even perpetual. Like if we go to, if it was white's move, they go queen d8, we go king g7, they have queen f6. And actually, yeah, we can't even go to h7 because they're bishops, so we really can't allow them to check, because I think that gives them perpetual. So queen f1, king g4, queen takes. Well, no, we don't have to. So we don't like queen takes f4. After queen f1, king g4, we can bring the bishop to e2. And then let's say king g3. I feel like that could lead to mate too. So you gotta be careful. And let's say bishop e2. Let's see if we can eliminate this candidate move. So find their best defense. So if bishop e2, king takes e2, we have queen e1 check. Let's say king d3, queen e3, king c4. We don't have queen c3 because of the knight. So yeah, I don't like bishop e2. But queen f1, no, let's look at queen d1 again. So queen d1, king f2. What about bishop e1? Then king e3. I don't like that. So queen d1, king f2, queen e1. King f3, only move. Took me a while to see. So bishop e2. Why does that look like checkmate in my mind? Okay, I've spent over 4 minutes, so I'm gonna go with... Okay, I'm gonna look at queen f1 one more time, then I'm gonna play queen d1 and hope that the line I saw was checkmate. So queen f1 and king g4, bishop e2. Oh, they have bishop f3 there, blocking. And so I already didn't like queen takes f4, but after bishop e2 there, I think bishop f3 defends. So queen d1 probably does lead to mate. So let's play queen d1. All right. Now, okay, here I want to go queen e1. And then king f3 only moved, and bishop e2. And is that checkmate? I think so. All right, got it right. Now let's go to analysis board. And I just want to quickly look at this queen f1 line. It'll probably be one of the common mistakes. But okay, queen g4. And if they win here, actually queen takes f4 is winning. So they're, oh, queen f1 is plus 14, plus 15 according to the engine, but queen d1 is just mate in 3. And okay, so queen f1 is actually an alternate solution. So if I played queen f1, I wouldn't have gotten it wrong, but it would have said, good try, but find a better move. So I was debating between those two moves, and luckily I did find the quickest win, but I didn't have to, like, once you get that far, you're not gonna fail the problem if it's down to those two moves, apparently. Now it's like plus 19, plus 25, okay. Yeah. So then, but what I was saying was, if this, I thought this was annoying. And I saw that there's probably something you could do here, but I didn't really bother to calculate it out just because I saw this defensive move. I thought, okay, queen d1 looked much more straightforward with some wins. And so this just added like a complication to everything. Like if without this bishop f3 move, this was going to lead to some checkmate pretty soon, I would have still been undecided. But actually, after this, you can go here because of the pin and checkmate sometime later. Let's see. So king h4, bishop e1. And then you got checkmate. But let's take a look at the mistakes. All right, bishop e1 on move 2, play 200 times. Right, so let's see. So bishop e1. This actually looks pretty interesting. Oh, wait, I think I did calculate this, and I discarded it because after they're getting here, the coordination from the queen and bishop kind of goes away since this queen and this knight are guarding these two squares, so the queen isn't going to be able to easily maneuver with the dark square bishop to deliver any type of checkmate. So you would, although here queen e2 is mating, so queen f2. Oh, I didn't see this. This would be checkmate. Okay, so what was the problem then? So with this move, wait. 2 bishop e1 is a mistake, they say. Two bishop e1 mates in 4, whereas queen e1 mates in 2. I wonder if that's a mistake. This does seem to be kind of a newer puzzle. But yeah, bishop e1 here is a mate in 4. Let me check the comments. I don't know. 2. Oh, I see. It thinks it's the engine. I'm looking at the analysis on a different page right now that the engine's giving. And it's saying that okay. Where's my arrow keys? Okay. So it's giving this line where they're just repeating for some reason. King f2. Oh, okay. So it is wrong. So even though bishop e1 is a checkmate in 4, so this is something that happens on ChessTempo sometimes. The reason that it's marked wrong is that it would force you to find queen e1 at some point anyway. So when you go bishop e1 here, they can go king g1, and then the only move to avoid a draw is to go back, and then they go back. So if you allow this repeating move, it's like you're wasting time and you didn't find a solution, the quickest win pretty much. So it doesn't even give you an alt, and it'll just mark you wrong, which is kind of sad because it does allow alts in other situations where you find a move that's otherwise winning. But when it's a situation that you end up repeating, it'll just be wrong. So that's something to keep in mind. So at this point, after you repeat it, then you still have to play Queen E1 and go for the main line. But what I didn't see in the beginning was that after this, you just have a mate in 2 with that. So that was nice. Okay. So now we got that out of the way. Let's see another mistake. Bishop E2 on move 1, played 33 times. So not many attempts on this. Let's see. So Bishop E2 check. Oh yeah, this was one of the ones I looked at and discarded quickly for some reason. I think it was like this, and then like I couldn't go here because of this knight. Although you can take this, but then you look at the material count. Like we're not really checkmating still. Can't even go here. But they actually have a better move maybe? Oh, Queen D4 blocking. Could take this pawn, but yeah, it's not like quite a win as you would expect for tactics. And then let's see what's next. So really Queen E1 on move 1, played 7 times. So this move. And yeah, so this allows the Queen D8 check. And after King G7, Queen F6, King G8. So yeah, they just get perpetual here. You can't go to H7 because of this bishop. So if white want it, they can just draw easily here. And that's what happens when you don't play a very forcing move like a check when they're threatening perpetual. So anyway, with that, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.